Hey, Tony Gas is here. I was driving. We had to drive probably about 4 hours for my son, oldest son, soccer game. He played down here today, and then we got to stay the night in the hotel, play again tomorrow. And on the way down here, remember my wife was talking, and she reminded me of when I think I was 20. I think I was 21. I was 21. Met my wife. Y'all gotta forget the AC blowing. So if you hear, cause it's it's hot out here. And she reminded me, I was 21 and I was going to work at the warehouse, and I didn't have any money. I had credit cards that was maxed out from when I was in college in West Virginia, and I just would pay the credit card every now and then when I could. And I had a job, I had quit the job, I had got this new job at the warehouse, and I didn't have any money. And to work in the warehouse, you need steel toe boots. And I asked my wife, who was my girlfriend, we had just started talking, could she get me some steel toe boots? I wasn't too proud to beg. I asked, could she get me some steel toe boots? And she said, yeah. We went to Walmart. They didn't have my size. I had to get a size small, or a size and a half smaller. And got them boots. They was $32. I ain't even have $32. I remember it to this day. They were $32. And not long after that, I think it was, we got back together. We broke up about 2 or 3 months because I was still crazy. We got back together, and I was on the phone with my girlfriend, not my wife. She wasn't my wife then. Cherie wasn't my wife. She was my about to be girlfriend. But I was on the phone with my current girlfriend. And you got my text message?
No.
Oh, okay. Where your phone at?
I was in the bathroom.
Oh, okay. I was saying I'll shoot the video for about 30 minutes.
Okay.
And then I'll be out there.
It's scorching.
Yeah, that's what I know. Yeah. It's hot. It is hot. And so I was on the phone, not with my wife, who was my about to be girlfriend again. I was on the phone with my girlfriend, who, me and my wife was in Florida. My girlfriend was in Atlanta. And I was telling her, we was real toxic. The one in Atlanta was real toxic, abusive relationship, just petty, mind games. So I'm telling her, I'm done with you. You know, I'm fed up, full of it, done with you. She's like, oh, I'm done with you too. That's why I was done with you too, or something like that. I hung up on her, hung the phone up, went to open the phone back. It was a little red flip phone with, I think it was with Verizon. And maybe it was with Sprint or something. And open the phone back up, and the ink that's in the phone, that, you know, you send your text message, play the snake game and all that, the ink just disappeared. The ink just did like this, and just disappeared. I'm like, what in the world? Phone just went kaput on me. Maybe I slammed it closed too hard too many times. And my wife took and got me a phone. She was my girlfriend. We had just got together. She got me a phone. And she put me on her phone plan. And then I got evicted out my apartment. My car was up for repossession. I was able to get my car note paid. Maybe my mama paid it or something. Then I moved into another apartment complex before the eviction hit my credit. And I got into that apartment. It was like 4 guys in a room, the college thing. The first one I was in was 2, and that was in the same apartment complex as my wife. Then my wife, she switched roommates. She had a roommate a little white girl. Her and the little white girl fell out, and you know, a lot of stuff was going on right there. And that's why I try to tell y'all about y'all, you know, quote unquote friends. Stuff be going on. And so they fell out, and she went to a black girl. They started rooming together in a townhouse. I got out my apartment. I can't remember if I got evicted or my lease was up, but I got out my apartment. I went to living in the townhouse with my wife and her roommate. So me and my wife just sharing the room. I remember writing my book downstairs in the kitchen. My first book, What Daddy Never Told His Little Girl. I used to sit in the kitchen and write it, and my wife would be at work. And then I remember her roommate would be home sometimes, and she'll come down and talk to me. She had a boyfriend that was on the football team. You know, we went to a Division I school, and she'll come down and talk while I'm writing the book, and I'll be down there cooking cheese omelets. Only thing I knew how to cook was an egg with some cheese in it, fold it in half, make that omelet. My wife ended up getting pregnant when we was living there, and I cooked her so many cheese omelets, she lost the taste for eggs for the rest of her life. She'll eat the egg a little bit now, but she can't really eat an egg from eating so many cheese omelets while she was pregnant with our first son. She got pregnant, and here I am. I'm living with her. I got a car. I'm on her phone plan, so she could see everything going in and out. I broke up with the girlfriend. Now me and my wife, we locked in. We all the way together. Then her and her new roommate, they start to get into it for some reason. I don't know why. For some reason, they started to get into it. I don't know if it was over me. I don't know if my wife was thinking that she liked me, or that she was flirting with me, or something. They started to get into it, go back and forth, the roommate and her friend. So then me and my wife, we move out and we get us an apartment in the hood, $835 a month. We have our son. He paying the rent because my wife filled out some SSI, some type of form for him being 2.5 months early. He was getting $700 a month. Our rent was $835. So my son paying the rent. I went and started working at a job making $9.50 an hour. So over the course of the year, I make $20K. My wife was making $20K just from school, just her scholarships in college. She was making $20K a year. So I'm working 40 hours a week. She making what I'm making just off her scholarship money. And she was on a full academic scholarship, and she was on a track scholarship. Even though she wasn't running track no more, because of her GPA, the coach kept her on the team as a, you know, reserve or something, and still was giving her money. Probably was giving her about $5 grand a year or something. I don't know, but the check was nice from her scholarship money and the track money. She would get $10K in August, get $10K in January. And she was working at my job, but I was making $9.50. They paid her $13.50, colorism. So she had a white boss. The white boss overlooked her roommate, my wife's roommate, who was majoring in that subject, behavior science. My wife was biomedical science. We were at a group home with mentally disabled individuals. The lady gave my wife the job her roommate was supposed to get. So I think her roommate ain't like her because of that too. It was like pretty privilege. Her roommate wasn't ugly, but she wasn't as pretty. And she was probably 3-4 shades darker. And they boss is a very, very heavy set white lady who kind of might have had a little prejudice in her. So, you know, she see this lady, my wife, probably look biracial to her or something, because there was a very dark-skinned black girl who was already graduated with a behavior specialist. The lady took and put my wife over her and had my wife correcting the graduate student papers. I say, boy, this wrong. But my wife just was raised very smart. She went to private school, so she was articulate and she was really smart. And even though that wasn't her subject, she reads 600 words a minute. My wife literally read 50 books a month. And that's not exaggeration. It's all fiction, because she's not an entrepreneur, so she don't have a need to read self-help. She read 40 to 50 books a month. Like, we just rolled 4 hours. She read, other than when I kept bothering her talking, she read the whole 4 hours. So she really smart, she really studious. And so the lady put her in that high position. So here we is. My wife, I think the apartment could have been in my wife's name. I can't remember, because her credit was better than mine, because I had bad credit. But her dad had to help her with her car, bought her car cash. She wasn't raised with her dad. And I had bad credit from my credit card, so I'm living in an apartment on my wife's name. My wife making double what I'm making. And at this point, I'm 23 years old now. And so I'm getting more and more of a grown man. And I'm making 20K a year. I went to the streets to start selling drugs. My wife left me for a few days. Begged her back, got off the little bit of drugs, got a bike, selling weed, got a bike, came home that day. The day I came home that night, it was somebody out there partying. Black boys, white boys, they was partying. I had an Impala with 22-inch rims. I was ghetto, because I was going to school, but I was selling weed, and I was getting a refund check. And I remember I got a refund check for $2,200. Our son was in the intensive care unit. Instead of me taking the $2,200 and paying up rent, or paying up my car note, or getting diapers, because, you know, getting some diapers, getting some milk, getting a nice crib, I took the $2,200, I took $2,000 and got 22-inch rims. I took the $200 and got the little cubic zirconia encrusted 22-inch symbol that put on each side of the car for $200. That thing probably, them people rip me. Now that I look back, them people rip me off, because now that I get stuff from China, that little 22-inch thing costs $5. I want to go find the man who owned that rim store and slap him in the mouth. And I know them rims was dirt cheap too. He probably getting them for $200, $300. But this how these people, they was like Arab or something, like they were Middle Eastern or something like that. This how they think. So they milking black culture. All the black boys, we putting 22s, 24s, 26s, 28s. But here to go to Middle East guys, they getting the rims from somewhere overseas, getting them shipped in, get a building, put a name on it, get some guys who could put rims on cars, and they making millions of dollars, while we going broke to look rich. They looking broke, but actually rich. Take that lesson. Get you some stuff from overseas, get you a building, open it, start booming. So here I am, that's what I do. My wife, she let me do it. And I remember she said to me, she said, you could get you some rims, because I know that'll make you happy. She said, I know, you get some rims. And why she did that, I don't know, because it was after I got the rims that I went to selling drugs, because it made me look like a dope boy. But that was clean money. That was a loan. That was school money. But then I wanted to look like a thug, so I went and got me some dro from a cousin. Not intentionally, he offered it to me, and I accepted it at a little discount. And so here's the thing. I was a slap 100% bomb. Came home that night after my wife had left me, and I begged the bike, called her 90 times a day. She finally answered on the third day. That's why I created the 72-hour rule, because she made me wait by 72 hours. I ain't counted specifically, but that 72-hour rule, I think it's in our book, A Woman's Influence. Get the book if you ain't got it. It's gonna teach you a lot, because she tamed the dog. And that's why I try to tell women all the time, y'all sitting out here waiting on a ready-made man. The man you listening to was a bum. It was my wife that made me a king. But if y'all keep thinking that it's gonna be different for you, it's not. Any man you meet is gonna be a bum to a degree. He gonna be a bum to a degree. If he not a bum in business, he finna be a bum in his hygiene. If he ain't a bum in his hygiene, he finna be a bum in this. But this is the thing. Now let me help you understand something, because I'm calling myself a bum. But guess what? My wife can't cook. So guess what? She's a bum in the kitchen. And this is what I try to get women to understand. Is y'all be so picky about a man, but you is a bum too. We all is a bum in one area or another. Like for example, I'm thinking about a woman right now. Okay, make 6 figures. Guess what? She a bum in her body. Think about another woman. She got a body. Guess what? She a bum in her business. Okay, think about another woman. She a bum in her brain. Okay, let me think about somebody else. Like everybody is a bum in an area. You're not gonna see somebody that is a bomb, B-O-M-B, in every area. We all weak in one area, and we got, so guess what? Although I was hood minded, and my wife had to deal with the hood mindset of a man who want to go sell drugs instead of picking up a second job, the hood mindset of a man who want to go get 22-inch rims instead of buying supplies for your baby that's in the intensive care unit. So my wife had to put up with that. But guess what? What I had to put up with? A woman who, my wife didn't have no booty. And so I could say, oh, she a bum in her body. My wife didn't know how to cook. I could say, oh, she a bum in the house, domestically. My wife didn't know how to have sex. My wife was as close to a virgin as you gonna get. She had only had one boyfriend, and they was only together for 1 year, and they were so young, and he was like a lame. He was nothing like me. So that's what really had got her mind going, because when she met me, I'm gonna just be transparent with you. When she met me, one time I did what the man did on Baby Boy. You remember on Baby Boy where Ving Rhames picked up AJ on his shoulders? He picked up on his shoulders and put up against that wall and was eating that peach cobbler. That's kind of stuff. I never did that before. Did that to my wife. Come on now. You take a woman who done only been with one man, only had one boyfriend. They really wasn't even messing around. They really wasn't even doing nothing, because my wife was like 18 when she got with him. Could have been 17. He was like a lame. He was not a ladies' man. I seen him. I knew who he was. Like, I didn't know who he was. I found out about him later because we had a mutual friend. And because I had a homeboy I grew up with who moved to another city, to Orlando, and that's how he knew this guy. Because my wife ex played basketball. And me and him played basketball. I played football on the same level he played basketball. We both was Division II athletes in college. But he was 6'4". So now, also, not only 6'4", I'm 5'10". You see what I'm saying? No, you all right. You about to get the chairs?
I'm just, because we're going to sit under the trees until they finish warming up, because it's hot, and then move over to the sideline.
Oh, okay.
This K-Day's game done.
Oh, okay. So this is what you have to realize. It's like everybody have something where they got to give. So here it is. I'm getting with my wife off of her personality, and she beautiful, but she didn't have a booty. She didn't know how to cook. She getting with me off of my personality. I ain't have no money. I'm 5'10". I'm country. I'm hood minded. So here both of us looking and say, look, I like your personality, you like my personality, we get along like best friends, but we both lacking some things that we probably would prefer if we made a list. If we made a list, imagine this. Imagine going from a 6'4" man to a 5'10" man. Your preference, you have a preference. Every woman have a preference. So that's a concession being made. But then what happened is sometimes you can mess around and you can get with a man. See, me, I was what you'll call it, savant in that bedroom. Cause at that point when I met my wife, I stopped counting at 79 because we used to connect how many women we could sleep with to our manhood. So I had a little white piece of paper, and every girl I sleep with, I'd write her first name down. If I knew her name, I'd write her first name down on that paper, and I'd take that paper with me everywhere I went. And I remember the last time I seen it was in my drawer up under my clothes, in my top drawer under my clothes. And by this time, it was ripped off of a piece of paper. So it was about this big, and I just would write down the names, And it was like I was keeping score. But all my homeboys was doing the same thing. Like we just would keep score. And we were just running the numbers up. And that was how we equated ourselves. The biggest man got the most women. The more women you get, the more of a man you are. The more of a dog you are. The more of a pimp you are. The more of a hustler you are. And so that's just what it was. So by the time I got to my wife, I knew, you know, meat game. And then I had a 6-pack of abs. I was still working out, so testosterone high. If women don't know this, but when a man is working out like naturally and he fasting, he not eating like a pig, our thing get bigger. And when we working that thing, it get bigger because it keep getting fulled up. It getting fulled up every day with that blood flow and that testosterone going in your body, and you working it out, so you keep pulling on it. You keep pulling on it. And so it'll get at its biggest state. When you slow down and you start sleeping around, it'll start to relax. It'll start to relax. If you get unhealthy, it'll start to relax because it don't get as much blood flow. And so at that point, I'm out there at the top of my game on that, even though I was in sin. So that right there, that was something new. And I remember my wife told me later, she was like, yeah, you know, something that you had did, I talked to my stepmom about it because I can't talk to my mom about it. And I was explaining it to her, and she said, oh my goodness, Cherie, that's an orgasm. And she was like, oh, wow, I didn't know what that was. My wife did not know about masturbation or anything. She was with this guy, but again, they 18 years old. You don't know nothing at 18 if you're not no ladies man. So my wife had never had an orgasm. So think about this. Although I'm a bum, she had her first orgasm with me. So therefore, her head gone. Because it's like, it's a feeling, it's a release that she had been chasing but didn't know what it was, because she was raised very prudish. Her mom was really strict. She could never date, never have a boyfriend. That's why her first real boyfriend was when she got to college. And so this is how she ended up. And this what I'm trying to tell you is, like, sometimes you'll see a woman and you be like, what do that man got? Because he ain't making no money, and she might make 6 figures. You're like, what did he got? It might be how he loving her. It might, and when I say loving her, I don't necessarily mean how he treating her. It might be how he put that thing down, because that's a release. The release from an orgasm is the same release that you get from cocaine. The same part of the brain is activated. So you could we literally become addicted to orgasms. And that release, it soothes us, it calms us, it warms us, it chills us, it blesses us, it heals us. We feel euphoria, namaste. You feel everything with that orgasm. And so you could be, that's why they call it, forgive my French, and, you know, start the video for the kids. Hopefully you know already start the video for the kids now. But that's why they call it dickmatized. You heard the term hypnotized. That's why they call it dickmatized. And that's why the other saying is power of the P. Talking about the nasty word, P-U. Talking about the woman, vajay. The power of the P. Because of the orgasm is so powerful, this is how we end up being a bomb or being with a bomb. But the thing about it is when you know who you is, and you get to a place to where you know you're gonna stand your ground, that's what happened. My wife, she said, listen, when we talked, I told her I wanted to be a pastor. And I told her, you know, I love the Lord. And so I came in and played the man of God thing. And my dad was a pastor. And he wasn't at that time, but he was a pastor my whole life. So a woman looking for a man of God. A man of God looking for a woman of God. She told me she grew up in the church, go to church every Sunday. We talking about T.D. Jakes. We talking about Creflo Dollar. This was back before anybody could tell anything about any type of, you know, embezzlement and all the little stuff we talk about now. But back then, Creflo and T.D., they were them guys. Like, you ain't have nothing bad to say about them. Like, they was saving lives, saving souls, like a blessing in the kingdom. Because this 2005, 2006, 2007. So imagine them way back then. They was a lot more pure than they are today, because they done got so much money, private jets, Rolls Royces, P. Diddy parties. So things changed. But back then, so we talking about that, and we talking about the Bible. We talking about politics. We talking about sports. She loves sports to no end. I was a really good basketball player, a really good football player. So we clicking as people. Me and my wife to this day, we can have sex one time in a month and it don't affect our relationship at all. It's a lot of couples that they talk about, oh, you got to have sex every day. Oh, you got to have sex 3 times a week. Oh, your relationship needs so much sex. And it's like, when I'm honest about it, my mind needs sex, but my body don't need sex. A lot of time my mind, because of my history, because of my past, because of the manosphere, because of what people say all the time, I'm sitting there and I'm saying, man, I need to have some sex. I need to have some sex. But then when I really get real and I ask my heart, do I feel like stroking right now? Do I feel like having a release right now? And the answer is no. The answer be no. It'd be like, man, I'm tired, man. That thing hurt your abs. That thing hurt your head sometimes because it takes so much out you. I'm like, I'm straight. I'm straight. And my wife be tired. So guess what? But we will lay there and we will laugh. We will talk. We watching the game. And it just be so good. Just being with my best friend. Literally my best friend. And then I realized I'm not a big talker. Like, I don't like talking all the time. I like being in my head and I'm quiet and all that. And my wife, she'll talk nonstop. She'll talk nonstop and then boom, she'll be asleep. And guess what? She could just fall asleep like that. She's sleeping next to her best friend. She just got a big release talking to her best friend. And she used to always say that, like, you know, when she would write a caption and stuff, like, my best friend. And then, you know, we went through stuff in our marriage where I was very distant and condescending and rude and all of this. But then when I got back metabolically healthy and spiritually healthy, and I came back to my core and who I really am, it was like, boom, right then again, we became best friends again. And she fell deeper in love, and she fell heavy in love, and I'm just like, man. And I realized too, like, I love her. I'll do anything for her. And I just got another credit card the other day and just gave to her, say, this your monthly card. You know, thousands of dollars. This your monthly. I do anything for her. I go anywhere every night. Last 3 nights in a row, I done made a peanut butter and jelly sandwich at 11 o'clock. Because she eat weird like that. You know, she might not eat all day, and then she'll be hungry when she about trying to go to sleep. And I get up. I'm tired. You know, the game on. I get up, go make her that peanut butter. It ain't a lot, but it's a labor of love. You know, it's something to where it's like, you laying down. You know how it is when you laying down and you comfortable and you're in your PJs. You don't feel like getting up and going to the kitchen and messing up the counter and doing all of that. But this right here, when you with your best friend. And this is what I want you to understand. Like, if you meet somebody and you connect with this person and y'all got the same value. So in talking to my wife, she ain't had a booty I wanted. She ain't had the cooking skills I wanted. I ain't got no cooking skills. I ain't got no cleaning skills. I ain't got the height. I ain't got the perfect articulation. I ain't got the proper voice. I ain't got the great major. I was a criminology major. Wasn't even going to class hardly. I ain't got what her mama and daddy want her to be with. I'm not that. I'm the lowest of the low in America. Black American in country. I'm not like the black American who, you know, biomedical science major, want to be a doctor, or a political science major, want to be a lawyer. No, like that's what Jamaicans, that's what they want. They want status. They want money. They want a name. My wife, 2 sisters. One sister is a lawyer for the #1 firm in the world. The other sister is a doctor. You see what I'm saying? Her daddy is a lawyer. Retired now. Her mama, even though she wasn't raised with both of them, she was raised by her mama. Her mama got a doctorate degree. Don't do nothing with it. I take care of her mama, but got a doctorate. Went and got a doctorate because they didn't come over here to be average. They come to America to be great. So they were looking down on me. Her mom and daddy looked down on me. I ain't meet her daddy until we had been married for 5 years. That man ain't talk to me. He ain't reach out to me. He ain't try to say, who with my daughter? Who are you? That man ain't talk to me until we happened to bump into each other because we had somewhere to go at the 5-year mark. And that was when I was 28 years old. I hadn't left my job. We hadn't got a 3-bedroom house. We was renting it. I was a speaker for the NBA, speaker for the NFL. I was a ghostwriter, celebrity life coach. I was 28 years old, I think, or 29. And I think I was making $150,000 when I met. My wife waited until I was successful before she introduced me to her daddy. Because she was shame of me. She had to be shame of me, but she loved me. She was with me. But she didn't expect her daddy to accept me. And when I became successful, that's when I was good enough to be around her family. And it wasn't about her necessarily. Well, it could have been about her. But you know how it is with family. Let's not play the fool and act dumb. We know how family is. And even with my wife still to this day is not good enough for my family. My sister still hate on her. My mama, if she go to talking, she'll hate. And they know not to hate to me, and they know they'll get cut off for hating. And now my wife mama, she used to ain't like me. And then me and my wife got into a situation one night, 2-3 months into marriage. Her mama threatened to kill me. So we didn't get along for a long time. Now her mama love me. Now her mama love me. You know, me and her daddy, you know, we got into it some time back. So we not on the best of terms right now. Cause male ego. He got an ego, I got an ego. I don't need you. I got your daughter. I don't need you. Bump you. I take care of my bills. I don't need to kiss nobody behind now. And so I never did. But we best friends. Me and my wife is best friends. We complete opposites. But we best friends. And guess what we agree on? We agree on God. We agree on politics. We agree on finances. We agree on family. We agree on how we raise our kids. When you have foundational beliefs that y'all can agree on, and you could get along, don't worry about height. Don't worry about weight. Don't worry about credit score. Don't worry about income. Don't worry about nothing. My credit might be a 500 right now. And I'm married 17 years with my best friend, and we doing good. A lot of y'all is single because you worry about the wrong thing. What you worried about have nothing to do with the longevity and the success of a relationship. You got to realize, when relationships were successful and had longevity, we did not have credit scores. We did not have high-paying jobs. As black people, when we were locked in and marriage was doing good for black people, we didn't have none of the stuff that we worry about today. We didn't have college degrees. We didn't have high-paying jobs. We did not have credit scores. What we had to worry about was, do we get along? Can we be best friends without wanting to kill each other every day? And if the answer was yes, I want to be your husband. Do you want to be my wife? Point blank period. I got to go because my wife just texted me. God bless her. She probably just texted me to update me something, but it's over 30 minutes and game starting in 13 minutes, so I'm about to go. God bless you. We'll talk soon.